Welcome to Godzilla-THON, in a movie by all rights I should not be reviewing, but since it bears the name, 1998 American Godzilla remake, also known as Zilla. That's the true name of this film. I'll start off by the positives. Zilla himself is a decent enough kaiju, very crafty and outfoxes the military at times. And John Reno is good in every scene he's in. I can enjoy John Reno's performance in this movie. That being said, it's not worth watching the entire film, but when I do watch it, I know I'm going to get some enjoyment out of it, and John Reno alone makes this more enjoyable than Godzilla's Revenge. The first 21 minutes or so are not that bad, other than Matthew Broderick in one scene with the people from New York. The ship begins with the sinking of a Japanese tuna fishing boat, and this scene, the opening scene, it works. It's got a good tone to it. It's got a creepiness to it. It's ominous, and just immediately see evidence of Zilla's power as you see claws burst through the hull of the ship and rip down, and his tail hit the bridge. The opening credits I like too. It's got good music that has a mysterious yet ominous tone to it. It's like, I really think, because this movie was held up in development for so many years, I really think the first 20 minutes or so were part of a much better script, and that the final script was like a Frankenstein's monster of a script. But anyway, not going to go into too many of the I'm just going to briefly go into the characters. They're mostly horrible. Matthew Broderick, the worm scientist who's still in love with the girl who dumped him in college, the idiot girl who dumped him, whose only endearing quality is that she won't sleep with her boss to become a reporter, her friend whose name I forget, the idiot cameraman, and there's others. Other than John Reno, don't care about him. John Reno is the real hero of this film. Him alone brings one very entertaining aspect to this film. I do like the military chase scenes with Zilla too, because he is a crafty opponent for the military. But as a whole, the good things in this film, it's like winning $1 off of a $50 scratch off. The prize is not worth the time or money that went into, the time and effort that went into retrieving it. Now, the first, like I said, 20 minutes or so, it has a fairly good setup. We see the ship sink, then we go to Matthew Broderick singing in the rain sequence when he's retrieving the worms. A bad scene to follow up the sinking of the ship. Someone from the State Department pulls him out. Next thing we see, he's investigating Zilla, and a military colonel is with him, and they're actually in Godzilla's footprint, and he's like, "Where's my sample?" And the colonel goes, "You're standing in it." And the camera pans up, and we get to see the big footprints, and it's more just evidence of Zilla's size and power. So again, the setup is fairly good. Sorry about that. I should clarify, if you see any breaks in the video, I'm not the only one in the house, so occasionally I'll pause till it's quieter to resume my review. Now, to talk about my favorite scene in the movie, the sinking of 3 fishing trawlers. It's at sea, stormy. we see a couple of the fishermen playing cards, and there's like a jerk in the boat. So the one guy, who I'm presuming the captain, goes to investigate, and then we see more. It just gets worse. Like the lines start getting pulled down real fast, and the mast falls, and the ship sinks really fast. The fishermen jump off. Next, they're in the water, and one of them clings to a piece of wood or something that came off. And then we hear an eerie, low-toned rumbling, and the boats bob back up out of the ocean. Again, I don't get it. The tone of the first 20 or something minutes is not consistent with the tone of the rest of the movie. Well, Godzilla, or Zilla as they call him, shows up. A fisherman casts into the water, and it was the trailer scene. You gonna catch one of those fish in the East River? You never know, today might be my lucky day. So, idiot casts his line and starts reeling something in. It even pulls the pole out of his hand. I just want to know one thing about this thing. If Godzilla is coming this way, there's no way the pole should have been pulled this way. Why did they do that? Well, Zilla shows up, goes through town. Idiot cameraman doesn't get crushed trying to record Godzilla. Oh, would have made the movie so much better. There's another scene with the boss reporter guy on the phone talking about, I need a story, in his secretary. I think your story just walked by the window as Zilla's walking by. How can you not hear that? You hear him breathing or something as he walks by. How do you not hear that? How do you completely miss that? So, military tries to lure Zilla out with fish. He comes out. They attack him, wind up destroying the Chrysler building, blah, blah, blah. Reporter girl meets up with her ex, steals a tape, gets him fired, and potentially could have gotten charged with treason because the information was top secret. Yeah, I'm not viewing the plot too much because there ain't much to say. Well, to condense it, he gets fired. The French guy takes him, reveals he's with the French Secret Service. They go to find the eggs because he discovers Zilla's pregnant. The reporter and the cameraman go to follow them because he's like, hey, you can make it up to him. You can be the one to tell the world he was right. The eggs start hatching, and you get one of the best scenes with Jean Reno when he's with Matthew Broderick. Two of the other guys in the French Secret Service with him show up, and he asks where two of the other ones were, and they mention they died, and it's brief, but you see a great, just mournful look on Jean Reno's face, and he's like, me and my guys will hold them off. You get out and get the word out. Jean Reno is prepared to lay his life down to stop this. Again, he's the true hero of the film. Well, they send out a message. They get into where the media room is, and they start broadcasting, and that's how they get the word out. They escape right before F-22s destroy Madison Square Garden. Zilla shows up, chases them. Again, Godzilla, one hit with the atomic blast, and it would have been over. He gets cornered on the Brooklyn Bridge and killed with jets. I will say, there is one scene that tickles me. Godzilla gets the cab in his mouth, and the stupid cameraman, I can't believe this, we're in his mouth, man, we are in his mouth. And Jean Reno turns around, looks at him, and goes, will you shut up, man? In full character. I'm not so sure if that was Jean Reno's line, or if he improvised it because he was so fed up with that character. So the two idiot characters get together, despite the fact that she might have got him prison time for leaking classified information. In the final shot is a egg that they missed hatching, setting up a sequel we never got. Even though I'm hard on this movie, it's I don't think it's as bad as it gets a lot of credit for. It's not good by any means, but I'll take this over Godzilla's Revenge any day. I think had the movie been trimmed down 30 minutes, cut out Matthew Broderick and a few of the other characters, focused on Jean Reno, and made Godzilla what Godzilla should have been, it would have been a good Godzilla movie. Dean Devlin, the producer, even admitted to the faults. Yeah, I can see the mistakes we made now. We never should have done A, B, C, and D. He admitted the movie was a mistake. Director Roland Emmerich said something to the effects of, I didn't even want to direct the movie anyway. Zilla 98. Not much to be said about it. It never should have been called Godzilla. It owes more to the Beast of 20,000 Fathoms. In my opinion being the key word, it still doesn't redeem this movie. It should have been a Beast of 20,000 Fathoms remake. Again, if you're going to see all the Godzilla movies, just bite the bullet and see it. Other than that, only the hardcore fans like me that have to have every film in their collection should even consider buying this thing. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, dislike, hit the notification. I'll talk to you next time when I finally review the Japanese version of Godzilla's Revenge. Over and out.